Hello, this is Gary Auden, and I'm bringing you an EDUcast, Seamless Collaboration Leveraging WebRTC. And this is a combined EDUcast with Telecom Reseller and Oracle Communications. With me today is Mickey Chowdhury, Director of Product Marketing at Oracle Communications. And this is Gary Auden, I'm President of Delphi, and I'll be doing the interviewing today. And let's talk about what we're going to talk about today, because we have several topics to go over. But first one is, you've heard a lot about WebRTC. Let's explain what it is to you. Then there is value to WebRTC, but it needs to be commercialized. So we're going to get into that. Now, you have a problem. How do I get and create WebRTC applications? How do I create value for it? And one of the points that we've been learning about WebRTC is its value within the unified communications collaboration environment, how to combine the two together, and what's the value of that. But there are challenges, and then there's mechanisms for enabling unified communications and collaboration with WebRTC. But Mickey, let's get started by just defining what WebRTC is so we all start off on the same page.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Gary. So yeah, let's start with what WebRTC is. You've heard about it, webrtc.org, which really is the organization, the open source project that's been driving this thing. It's really, WebRTC is about enabling browsers to have real-time capabilities through simple APIs. As you can see from the diagram, WebRTC enables peer-to-peer connections for audio, video, and data. The significance really is that collaboration tools that used to require large capital projects and program outlays to maintain now can be done relatively quickly and easily. They require very little end-user training, and the technology truly enables communication, enables business applications, and a variety of use cases that we will discuss over the next few minutes.
Now, Mickey, I have a question here. Does this mean that I, as a developer, really don't have to know all about the communications underlying technology?
Yes, Gary, that's the great part of this thing. As long as you understand and know how to use web APIs, you can go ahead and create applications that embed and use voice, video, and data communication.
Well, that also means you're saying WebRTC is essentially media independent. Is that correct?
Well, it isn't media independent completely so much, but it certainly encapsulates the media handling and signaling and then exposes the communication tools over the APIs, so you can just use web-ready APIs and embed these kinds of technologies into applications, whether they are native or web-based.
Now, when we talk about WebRTC, what you said is not quite abstract, but what's important to the listeners here is how can I commercialize this application?
Right, and as we are seeing, there is quite a few commercial applications already, implementations that use WebRTC, and here are a few examples. Right, Vonage provides a video calling service for their customers, mobile device, and they can do audio and video alongside text in it. We see companies like insurance companies that are offering video appraisal services for their customers that need to file a claim. Imagine how nice it is. I mean, not that they're getting into an accident is a nice thing or anything like that, but if you do, and now you need to talk to somebody talk to your insurer, you are able to very quickly show them what has just happened, and it really simplifies the process of going through the insurance adjustment process. And then for those that have used the Amazon Kindle, there is this interesting Mayday application that's built into it. The application is powered by Oracle, and customer service rep just shows up at the click of a button, a video, and can take you through the Kindle and its use. So we're seeing a lot of interesting applications being built that use WebRTC as the underlying architecture.
Well, that means there's value to the enterprise here. Would you talk some more about the points that are valuable to the enterprise?
Absolutely. I mean, here are some of the reasons why WebRTC is attractive to enterprises, right? We talked about how all they have to do is know the web-based APIs, and then they can actually develop and implement applications. All it is really a WebRTC-enabled browser, and there is a lot of browsers today that supported Google, Firefox, so Google Chrome, Firefox, Opera, all support WebRTC natively. The APIs that are provided for the developers and for those that know the programming languages for websites can easily write communication applications, once again, that enable audio, video, and data sharing within web pages. So it's and as you can see on the right side, there is a lot of vertical applications, and we gave you some examples already where WebRTC is very useful. The common theme here is that communication services can now be embedded into websites that serve a variety of customers in a wide range of settings. As you are an enterprise, if you're an enterprise and you have all these collections of enterprise applications, human capital management, customer experience, customer support, etc., you can enable multimodal communication in these applications using the WebRTC framework. Would
you say, though, and a lot of people may not realize this, if you have those web browsers, you already own WebRTC?
Absolutely. If you have a browser such as Chrome or Firefox or Opera, you already have WebRTC support there.
Let's move on to talking more about how WebRTC enables us to do unified communications and collaboration.
Right. So, and that's the whole point right there, right? We talked about how WebRTC is really turning browsers into audio and video devices. So suddenly you have almost a billion endpoints out there that are capable and ready for audio and video capability. It's just a question of enabling them. So now you're able to have, and the promise behind unified communication and collaboration has been all about seamless, multimodal, real-time communication and collaboration that's accessible on a diversity of endpoints. And of course, it needs to be secure, it needs to be interoperable, it needs to be reliable. So we certainly see, and that's what we want to do over the next few slides, is take you through how WebRTC can become a stepping stone to providing unified communication and collaboration.
Well, that's a nice lead into the next slide, which I think is very important. Anything out there does have challenges. What challenges do you perceive here?
Yeah, so many organizations we see are gradually starting to embrace UC&C style of working. It's really a move from pure voice-centric communications to a cohesive infrastructure that supports video, web, messaging, presence, instant messaging, scheduling, etc. But while adding these new non-traditional communication platforms gives the users a more modern, when-enabled tool, what it doesn't necessarily mean that they provide an experience that is unified. So creating a fully integrated, seamless communication experience is definitely going to be a transition, and we can see that WebRTC is gaining traction as a catalyst. In the end, it comes down to really three things. I don't have access to the right information at the right time. I need to find easily and connect with the right people. And I need to collaborate and schedule activities with colleagues from any device and from any location. In the end, those are the three things that we all have to struggle with, given the collection of tools that enterprises provide for us, leading essentially to what I call frictionful collaboration. So we have a disjoint collection of applications and tools that we constantly keep moving between, losing context as we are trying to go through our day-to-day work.
One of the points I thought was important when we talked about earlier, WebRTC could be a peer-to-peer technology, but it means that whatever I have and you have, that's the extent of the features and functions we have. And I think it's important for people to know you really should be looking at a controller for this environment to actually add all the UCC features and capabilities. Is that correct?
That's an excellent point, Gary. So while WebRTC, well, the web part in the name WebRTC may make you think that it's only for web-enabled devices or for browsers that support that support them, but not quite. Which is why we have something that we call a WebRTC session controller, and the WebRTC session controller is really a small number of parts. It obviously has the signaling and media capabilities, so normalization and policy and authentication that you would require from a signaling perspective, as well as transcoding and being able to traverse firewalls, etc., from a media side. But as we all know, we have desk phones, we have other endpoints that are not WebRTC endpoints. So your desk phone that's sitting there, an IP phone that may be, or your mobile device that you use every day, that you need to be able to be part of the ecosystem as we are communicating, collaborating, has to be part of the system also. So to have an enterprise UCC, you need to cover all these endpoints, WebRTC enabled as well as non-WebRTC enabled. So the session controller really helps you bridge the web side with the traditional PSTN and SIP side. And on the network side, so there is a connection to the SIP network within the organization, and then with additional gateways, you can get to PSTN and SIP application servers. And on the web side, you have a client SDK, which is what you use to write your application or essentially take a web-ready application and enable it for voice and video. And again, in the architecture, you can see how the communication between these various endpoints happen. But yes, it's not just about enabling web-ready endpoints. It's also bringing in PSTN and SIP devices into the mix also.
I would think without the controller, there'd be a whole community you just couldn't talk to.
That's correct. Otherwise, you'd have islands and we'd be back to non-unified communication and collaboration.
Would you go into the next slide and talk about how this enables UCC, seamless operation?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So what we have here is a solution that brings together a collection of portfolios within the Oracle Communications set. And what we've done is integrated Oracle's Unified Communications Suite, which provides messaging, scheduling, contacts, presence, and IM on a multitude of endpoints, both including mobile and desktop and web, and enable the web component of it, in this case, a client that we call Convergence, to be voice and video enabled using the WebRTC session controller. So now you have voice, video, messaging, presence, scheduling, etc., all integrated into your workflow. And as I want to show you in the next couple of slides, from a user experience perspective, it's really about what we've been saying for the last few minutes about embedding communication or making communication a seamless part, multimodal communication, a seamless part of your workflow. You should not have to, for example, leave your application that you're working in to start another tool or application or switch away to another endpoint to be able to do your work. And that's what we will show in the next few cases.
Well, that brings up the word experience, which is important here.
That is extremely important. There is a lot of capability that's there in the Unified Communication Suite. The bigger part of which is the presence and instant messaging capability. Presence can enable us, presence-aware communication, whether it's real-time or non-real-time, such as email. Embedding it can certainly make it a seamless experience for users. So what we think is important, what we see as important for our end users, is they have all of these things built into their workflow. So what we will show you is how bringing together of Oracle's Unified Communication Suite and the WebRTC Session Controller for its WebRTC pieces can enable integrated click-to-call, video calling, and screen sharing, and more importantly, being able to convert from one form of communication to another without losing context. So you could start, for example, based on presence, a chat session with somebody, which you can convert to an audio or a video call, and so on. And it's also important that we be able to not just, as we talked about a little earlier, we're not creating silos. If you, as a participant in a conference, needed to move away from your desktop and pick up the call and stay in the call on your mobile endpoint, you should be able to do that without necessarily having to have yet another application installed on your mobile device. So your phone's native dialer, native phone capability should be able to connect back and be part of this conference conversation and so on.
I think the video that we're going to show next is a good example showing the value and the capabilities that you've been talking about.
Absolutely.
Let's see here. Looks like George made all the changes to the contract. Oh, wait a second. I need to talk to him about whether all the text on the product package is correct. We also have to talk with Tina from Bridge Bay for their approval. See if George is online.
Hi Larry, what's up?
We need to make a few changes to the partner payment terms. Here, let me share my screen with you.
Okay, what are you thinking?
The partner payment terms we had agreed to with Bridge Bay are off by a month. We should fix that.
Oh yeah, I see. I'll take care of it. Larry, sorry, but I need to get to my next meeting. Let me switch to my cell. All set.
The text on the product packaging that relates to their component needs a few changes.
Well, Tina at Bridge Bay will probably have some input on that.
I'll talk with her and send you another email. Can you update the document when you get back from your meeting?
Will do.
Thanks. Let me see if Matt's online. We're finalizing the contract with Bridge Bay, and I already emailed you the changes that need to be made to the product packaging.
The language on the packaging was easy to change. We'll just need to run the changes by Bridge Bay.
Great. Let me invite Tina to this video conference.
Hi, Larry.
Hi, Tina. I also have Matt on the call.
Hi, Matt.
Hi, Tina.
Tina, we changed the text on the package based on what we discussed. And Matt has the final version, and we had sent you a photo of the top. Are you okay with the text over there?
Yes. I really like how the words came out. I also saw that you updated the data sheet inside the package with what I had sent. It all looks good to me. I'll send out an email with my approval.
Thanks, Tina.
Thanks, everyone. Looks like we can close the deal. Oracle's unified communication and collaboration solution delivers cost-effective collaboration to enterprises. Deployed as an on-premises or cloud-delivered solution, enables users to communicate and collaborate anytime, anywhere, and from any device, enhancing employee productivity and the company's return on investment. For more information, please contact your Oracle sales representative. For a free trial and to learn more, visit us at oracle.com. Now, it's about time we talk about Oracle itself. Oracle is a big company dealing in communications and a lot of other services and features. So one of the things that's important is it's a company that will exist and a company that continues to expand on its products. Here is a couple of resources you might want to take a look at, a test drive, and learn more about what Oracle does. And I'd like to thank you, Mickey, for providing this information for us, and thank you, viewers, for watching.
Thank you, Gary. Thank you, everybody.